This is a Healing the Earth Pendant ceremony with Dr. Jean Logan. Jean Logan is bringing forth some absolutely amazing work. She has channeled healing glyphs from on high. We're going to learn more about this. We've even heard that these are angelic translations. And the stories coming in about the use of these glyphs are remarkable. Even in my own life, I've got amazing stories that make me believe. I know in my heart that these are powerful. So we invite you to join us today in a very special ceremony first to heal the earth, and then later we'll talk more about these wonderful healing glyphs. Please welcome Dr. Jean Logan. Jean, thank you so much for being here in this healing ceremony during this equinox of 2014.
Thank you, Loren. It's delightful to be here, and I want to thank everybody out there for joining us. I honor you all. So today what we're going to do is have an empowerment ceremony for a pendant of your choice. And what I want you to do is have available right there your pendants that you can hold in your hand, and you may do more than one if you want, one for your one of your children or grandchildren, or two of them for yourself. I have 3 here that I've just recently got, and I'm going to be empowering this morning. So what we're going to do, first of all, there's one. That's one I just bought recently. That's one of my weaknesses, is nice jewelry. A piece that I got from England a few months ago. I have a special cloth I use for ceremonies with an embroidered circle on, and I always put whatever I'm empowering in that circle. And so I have my 3 pendants there now. And then when we say the empowerment dictation, I will hold them in my hand. And when I do a glyph, I touch it or hold it in my hand. Okay, first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and relax ourselves. And we're going to do, if I were doing an actual ceremony and you were here, we would do a smudging with sage. But since we aren't going to be able to do that, we're going to do that in our minds. We're just going to cleanse our aura with our mind and release any negative energy, and bring yourself into your heart space and focus on love. And let the only thing within you be love. Intend that your crown chakra is open. And picture a golden light coming down, entering your crown chakra. And bring that golden light down, filling you completely. Bring it all the way down, through your body, down your spine, down your legs, and out through the bottoms of your feet. And we're going to send that golden light down into the earth. Down to the center of the earth. And when we do that, we're going to send healing light, healing love, healing energies. We're going to send peace. And we're going to send gratitude. We need to be grateful for so much that the earth is a part of us for. And then bring that energy back up. And with it will come the energy of the earth and the love of the earth. And we bring that back up. At the base of the spine, send it up on both sides of the spine, and having it going into an infinity where it's meeting in the middle and closing again, going all the way up into our brain, into our mind, into our heart, to the pineal gland. Just cleansing and purifying and healing. Okay, we're going to hold that light within us while we have the ceremony. Picture yourself in a circle of light, a circle of love. Okay, now we will call on the Prime Creator, the Earth, the Sun, Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Saint Germain, Kuan Yin, the Ascended Masters, the Archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, Metatron, all of your guides, and any beings of light who are followers of the divine plan that would like to join us. And those of you out there, if you would have a particular spiritual being that you would like to invite, I'm going to give you a little few minutes here, a few seconds actually, a little time, to call in whatever being you would like to join you at this time. And Loren, if you know of any that you would like to invite at this time, please feel free to say so.
Calling in Metatron, Melchizedek, Kuan Yin, Hilarion, Paul the Venetian, Sanat Kumara, Serapis Bey.
Thank you so much. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to say a prayer, and we're going to be saying this together, and Loren and I will be saying it here, and we're not going to have the mic open because that would cause too much confusion. We're going to say the grand invocation. Those of you who have the book, Unlocking the Power of Glyphs, it's in the book. We'll have it here. Okay. From the point of light within the mind of God, light now streams forth into the minds of humanity. The kingdom of light has now emerged on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, love streams forth into the hearts of all. The light has returned to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, divine purpose guides the will of humanity, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center we call the human race. The plan of love and light now governs, having forever sealed the door where darkness dwells. Divine light and love has restored the plan on earth, and so it is. Now I want to explain to the beings that we have just invited what we're going to be doing today, because it's important when you have a ceremony and you invite in beings, you want to tell them why they're there. So what we're going to be doing is empowering some pendants to send healing energies out to the earth and the people of the earth, and healing energies to the person wearing the pendant. And we appreciate all of those who have come to join us. We honor you. Okay, now we're going to say the empowerment statement. And what I'm going to do at this time, although it's not necessary, it's just my practice, I'm going to take, I have 3 pendants here, I'm going to take them in my hand while I say the statements. Okay? And Loren, you may, and all those of you out there, say this out loud, because when you say something out loud, it puts more energy into it. And that's why I asked Loren to say the prayer with me and with the empowerment statement. With each beat of the heart of the person wearing this pendant, send this message out to the earth and to the universe. Fill all of the people of the earth with love and forgiveness. Remove their fear. Reach out to all who are in need and touch them with hope. Reach out and deliver all beings from bondage. Fill the earth with peace and love until it is full. Transition the individual wearing this pendant with the violet flame of Saint Germain. Balance the energy of the user. Remove their fear. Heal their body of any anomalies. Provide a protective shield to keep all harmful energy, including radiation or electromagnetic energy, from affecting the person wearing this pendant. Okay? So it is. Now, I'm going to say a chant in Japanese, and for those of you out there, this is not necessary for a ceremony if you should desire to have a ceremony on your own. I just like to add it as a little healing touch. We learned that, my husband and I learned that when we belonged to a Japanese healing group, and I just felt like when we left, I didn't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so we kept the chant. So if you just continue to hold the glyphs, to hold the pendants in your hand. Gokubi just so gengen shikai takama harani kamutamahi moe ide masu kamuragi kamurami no machikara mochete bansei to itono miyoya kamu amatsu suno mahi kario mikami harahido no o kamutachi Muro no sakagatu tamahi no sutsumi kigareo ba mahi kari mote harahi kiyome misogi tamai te kamino kanochakara yomikai rase tamai tomosu kotono yoshio kushikomi momasu miyoya matosu mahi kario mikami mamori tamai sakiai tamai Miyoya matosu mahikario mikami mamori tamai sakiai tamai kam nagara tamahi chihayamase kam nagara tamahi chihayamase. It is done, it is done, it is done. That was wonderful and that was beautiful. I am so grateful we had this opportunity to do this. And I want to thank all of the spiritual beings who were here to join us and provide your energy for us. We thank you, we honor you, we bless you, and we bid you Godspeed. And I also want to thank everybody else with us.
And just as you finish that beautiful chant, the rain showers that we have are now turning to soft snowflakes. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's important to use this empowerment ceremony, sending this invocation, this decree that we did today, with every pulse of our heart to the areas that need it on the planet. When we return to this, do we focus on different areas and know that it's done? Because it is a pulse that goes out. So we can just wrap our vision to other places on the planet with each time that we choose to charge the pendant.
Right, right. But when we wear the pendant too, every time our heart beats, we're sending out a pulse of all of this love and all of this healing energy. So that's why it's good to use a pendant that you like to wear frequently. I have some fancier ones that I wear on special occasions, but I would say every single pendant I have is empowered. So no matter what one I grab out of my jewelry box, it is empowered. Every one of them.
Again, it's using our intention, and that's 95% of the work.
Right.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you, everyone, for putting your intention out there to heal our earth and send love to all. Now, let's talk about the healing glyphs. You've got some new ones. Most people know or are aware of your 2 books that you've got, Healing Glyphs, Unlocking the Power of Glyphs, and Sacred Symbols of Light. These are quite fascinating. The first book is about the emotional worries and burdens and struggles and challenges that these glyphs help liberate people from. And then the second book is actual physical systems and organs in the body. So share with us what you've been up to lately, Jean. These, we're just getting wonderful stories from around the world. Asthma disappearing, improved vision, some miraculous things, and it really is angelic translation. Share more about that.
Right. I just received one this morning, and some of the best ones I receive are about animals. And the reason that people, it seems, sometimes will grab them to heal their animals before they use them for themselves. But the one I received just this morning, a woman had a chocolate lab that was licking his paws so often that they were raw. And so she put the glyph for anxiety on the dog, and 2 days later he has completely stopped the licking. So for her, and she herself is using it for glaucoma. And one I had the other day who had said that her pressure was in the 20s, which the doctor was not happy about, and so she used the glyph in all the places, and the book does tell people where to put the glyphs. And so she used them on the place that she was directed to use them, and when she went to the doctor, the pressure was down to 16 in each eye, which is normal. So there's just been so many amazing stories. On my website, holygroundfarm.org, and then you go to the page for the glyphs. There's many, many testimonials there, just amazing stories that have happened. One man who was impotent, he wore a glyph, and overnight, the next morning, it completely restored his virility. He said he felt like a 20-year-old.
Overnight.
Overnight. Now, I can't say there's no promises with anything because a lot depends on how open we are. The reason they work so well on animals is because animals do not judge. They are not skeptics. They don't have expectations. Expectations can also get in the way. You just have to be. Just use the glyph and be, and if you intend and believe in your power of intention, that strengthens it so much more. Can accomplish amazing results. And then recently, I was introduced to some of the healing codes by a Russian psychic by the name of Grigory Grebovoy. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Grigory Grebovoy.
Grebovoy. Okay, I'm finally getting it right. Okay. And he had he was getting these where he'd have 7 or 9 series of numbers that were just having amazing results. So I'm working, the glyphs are not just dormant, they're not, once they're in the book, I can go in and I can change the master glyph as I learn more information, or I am given some information that makes them more powerful. I go and re-empower them, and that will affect every glyph out there. All of the e-books or the printed books, it doesn't matter. It will affect them all. They will all receive the additional power. So as I re-empower them, each one will become that much more powerful. And there we have the cover of the ebook. And that's a glyph for trust, yes.
So, you know, what I find fascinating is the Ho'oponopono that you have developed for these glyphs. It's like a recipe of glyphs, and that right there is a foundation for other glyphs that you have. You have a glyph for abundance.
That's a good one, sadness. See, all of these, and this is, let me talk about this one just a moment, because there are so many of you who are pet owners, and if you ever adopt a rescue animal, the glyphs really help your animal. Use the glyphs on your animals, regardless of whether they're rescue or not. But your animals also have their emotional issues. But if you ever adopted an animal who had been abandoned, this glyph is so important because it will take away that fear they have of somebody abandoning them again. That is a wonderful glyph. And also this is so good for heartache. If you've ever been, and so many have been through divorce or loss of a parent or a child, loss of anyone, regardless of whether it's death or divorce or just maybe just an argument where you realize that you can no longer have this person in your life, that they're not, this is not important. But yet sometimes it's painful. Whatever the pain is, there are spiritual cords we have with people, and when they're broken or torn or severed deliberately, it's very painful. And so this glyph can be so helpful. It was one of the 5. When I went through my divorce, I put 5 glyphs on top of each other and put them on my heart chakra. And oh, what a blessing that was. It just made it so much easier. It really helped a lot. That's the one, fear. That's an important one too, because fear is such a destroyer. It can really keep you from moving forward in your life. And there are so many kinds of fear, and there's so many different types. And actually in the book there are 3 or 4 glyphs that will remove different types of fear. Just like within public speaking, it is not just a fear of public speaking. It is a fear of embarrassment. It is a fear of losing control. It is a fear of ridicule. There are multiple numbers of fears embedded in each different thing. And so this one will help dogs that are afraid of thunder too. When I program, I add that statement in. And so it has helped my dog. I have one that he would just tremble. And I would have to go down and sleep in the guest room with him every time. Now he just lays there quietly. Sometimes he still gets me, but he just likes the company. He's no longer trembling. That's a powerful glyph. And each glyph has, there'll be a paragraph or 2 of programming statements. Feeling that you're not worthy, feeling that you can't accomplish anything, regrets we have over things in the past. There's so many different things that we need to get rid of in our body. And when I started using these, I could not tell you what I was here on this earth for. I didn't know what my purpose was. Now I have no doubt about who I am and why I am here. And it just is such a wonderful feeling in your life to realize what you're here, what it's all about. Each glyph has got a prayer with it. That prayer helps make it more powerful. It puts out a powerful energy. Somebody said, do we have to say the prayer? Well, no, you don't have to do anything. When you get your book, you can do anything you want, and you don't have to say the prayer if you don't want to, but everything puts more energy into it. And what I encourage people to do is look for your inner guidance or your guides to help you. People write and say, what should I use? Which one should I use for that? We need to learn to look inside. we're kind of caught in the situation. We've been going to doctors for years, and they hand us the pills, and they tell us how often to take them. But we need to start where we establish is we need to empower ourselves. We need to look for the power inside. And so just stop and think. If you get a strange idea on where to use a glyph, do it. Just go ahead and follow it. And don't think it's silly, whatever it is. Just go ahead and do it. And I hear people doing a lot of interesting things with them, and they all seem to work.
I've taped them like bone, the one for bone and ligament on a shoulder that's sore, and it feels better. The only issue is keeping them on there, so.
Right. Well, here's another way to do it. I've got an elderly dog right now, and I have a teddy bear, and I have put on, he's reached a point where his mind was not too clear. He just seems like he's mentally affected. And so I put the detoxification glyph on his crown chakra. That's on a dog, not his, but on the teddy bear's crown chakra. And I put one on for brain injury. And then I put several on him. And it was amazing from being kind of senile. Like yesterday, I took him out with me, and we went to the bank, and I told him, okay, now that lady up there, she's going to send you a dog treat. And he looked out the window, and he looked at the lady, and I said, it's going to come in this little tube, and she's going to put it in there. And he looked, and he was watching. He knew exactly what I was saying. He knew what I was talking about. And I thought, this is amazing. A couple weeks ago, he would not have understood. He would have just sat there in the back seat. So I realized that detoxing his brain, and that's one thing about these detoxification glyph, it has saved dogs from being put to sleep when they put it on their kidneys. Animals are so prone to kidney problems because of all the stuff in the dog food. And when you take and detoxify them with that detoxification glyph, that can make all the difference upon whether your dog have a quality of life longer. That's the important thing. You want your dog to have a quality of life as long as possible. And for my dog, these glyphs have really made the difference.
Wow. And dealing with my dog, this is before I knew about your glyphs, but fortunately I had known about Grigori Grabovoi and his numbers, and those work too. So I find it fascinating that you're mixing the numerology, it's not numerology, but it's the numbers, because everything is energy and it's translated into numbers.
Right.
I'd like to show the chapel. This is your chapel on your land, and we were talking earlier about the energy. You had mentioned a vortex is here.
Yes, years before we built it, when we first got the land, we had the dowsers up from the First Georgia Dowsers Association, and they dowsed here and there, and they found there's more than one vortex on the land. But when they went out there, this one man, he said, on a 1 to 10, this is a +10, and he said it would be very powerful for healing. And so I tried sleeping out there in a tent, but I'm just not much of a camper, and I would just take the dog at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd say, let's go home after I toss and turn. And so then eventually we built the chapel. So give us now we've got mats there where you can lay and receive all the healing energy, and you can literally feel the earth working on you while you are laying there. It's amazing.
And this is where you charge all of your glyphs. The glyphs are in here. This is a healing chamber. And you know, I'd like to point out that, yeah, the reason that even the land, you've got the mountains, you've got 2 mountains here, one here and one here, and you're also standing on a mountain. And so that forms like a womb down in the valley. And the Tibetans in Colorado, we have the Shambhala Institute, and when they came to build the stupa, that was a major qualifying factor in selecting that land, the way the land was shaped. And you've got it right here on yours.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So more healing glyphs. Let's go and look at these. So, you know, people can use these and stack them up.
And there's more with and you could use, like I said, you use the teddy bear, but you don't even need that as a surrogate. You can just put on a piece of paper, send this healing energy to Loren's shoulder at such and such a point, or such chakra. So you can use them remotely as well. Or you can put a piece of cloth on there and put them, attach them somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is grief and sadness. That's a powerful one too. And what this actually helps remove a lot of what's in past lives. When I've been dowsing some of them, I'm getting to use a lot on the chakras on the back side, which I understand are from past lives. And so this can be very helpful for removing layers and layers of stuff. And that's what it is, literally. It's layers like an onion, and we just start with the outer layer, and we keep on moving forward.
So as we are here, let's take a moment and just feel if we can experience the energy. What feelings or thoughts are coming up? Can anyone feel this as it draws out?
Mm-hmm.
These really do work, yeah.
Now, people have asked me about this up in the right corner there. They wanted to know what that is. That's the name of God in Hebrew. And I think on my next book, or some of the next glyphs as I empower them, I recently, at the little chapel or little church we go to in town, they had a person doing Aramaic, talking about Aramaic, and so I think the rest of mine do. I will get the God's name in Aramaic and put it on the glyphs. Just it adds a nice touch, and I always want to make sure it's understood that these glyphs, they are not my glyphs. These are not mine. The books are not mine. They are all given to me to be put out. My job is to put it out there, is to record them and to get them out to people. And that's what my job is. But they are not mine. And I do want to point out that all of the profits from the sale of the books go to assist disadvantaged children. Right now we are supporting 2 orphanages in Nepal. And we've done a tremendous amount of work down in Peru.
It's important to get these out. This is your purpose. And someone has translated for you this even into Spanish.
Right.
And he also channeled the Syrians who we haven't had this experience yet, but it is believed that we could even regenerate organs with this.
Right.
And 40 days is mentioned.
Right. Now, I was given the ones to regenerate organs. And so I was one of these as a child where we were, they convinced our parents we should have our tonsils and adenoids taken out, which was a hideous thing, actually. But nevertheless, but all that's for a reason, because that way I was told once that if I could regenerate my adenoids, my skin would improve, because the adenoids are very important for the distribution of nutrients within the body. And so I asked, can that be done? And I was told, yes, it could. And so I was given what needs to be done for the tonsils and adenoids. So I went ahead and I wrote them up and I put them in the second book. And when I first used the one for tonsils, I could feel a tremendous amount of movement and stuff going on in the body. And when my chiropractor worked with me doing a muscle testing, she said, after some time, she said, one side was like 8% regenerated and one was 13%. It's not going as fast as I'd like it to, and that's why I'm intending that the numbers from Grigory Grevavoy will speed that up a little bit. I guess I'm impatient. I don't want to wait. I want it to go quick. This is a detox glyph. That is so powerful. And what I tell people to do when they first get the book, the two first things is, one is work on the removing the emotional things, and the second is detoxifying, where you take a strip. There'll be a page of 16 of them, and you take a strip of 4 of these, and you combine that with, there's another glyph for parasites. And you take a strip of those, and you put them under your liver, over your liver. That will be under the rib cage on the right side. And then you can do the same on the left side for the spleen. And unless you're really have no sensitivity at all, you will feel that working on you. And you don't have to use the parasite one every time, but when you're first starting out, maybe you don't have parasites, but there's no harm done if you go ahead and use that glyph anyway. The liver needs a lot of detoxing.
Okay, so let's take that one again, the liver cleanse. Can you repeat that then, that recipe?
Okay, you take that, a strip of 4 of those. This is what we're looking at, the detox. And you take a strip of 4 of the parasite glyph. And you just put them on top of each other. And there I go ahead and I use a tape, even though I'm not crazy about all this, but I use a medical tape, use something that's, won't aggravate the body. And I put them, or you wrap them in a piece of cloth, and put them under the rib cage on the right side for your liver. That's the one for shame and embarrassment. I think parasites is, anyway, you put them on the right side for the liver, and then you do the left side for the spleen. The spleen is another place that is prone to parasites. The liver definitely is prone to parasites. And wear them overnight. After you do the parasite one, and you still might want to do the parasite one now and then, because you never know if you pick up some. It's amazing how a lot of people are running around with parasites and don't realize it, and they can drain your energy. If you have an energy problem, it wouldn't hurt to try that. But definitely continue to use the detox glyph on a regular basis.
And we're showing the strips here. This is not the one of the detox.
Yeah, that's right. See how they have 16, and you just take the 4, like on the bottom. That one is for shame and embarrassment and guilt. Mm. And cut 4 of them, and then 4 of the parasite one, and put them under the.
And 4, is that because it is over a large area of the skin?
Yes, your liver is quite large. Your liver is quite large. The spleen is not small either, and so you want to be sure they're actually chakras for the liver and for the spleen. And if you use these 4, you're more apt to get the energy of the chakra area covered.
Mm-hmm.
I've even taken the whole page of 16 and put them over my left side. When I take them, I get them from the other book. The second book is, they're programmed, the detox glyph is programmed also to resolve gallstones and kidney stones. So I put them the whole page over the left side.
All right, so here's another glyph, releasing thoughts to abundance.
Now, I want to explain about this glyph. I recently, someone I know bought copies of the books, and she took and copied this and gave it to all her friends. And I want to point out, this will release blocks, but the blocks, the emotional healing glyphs, really need to be used before you're going to be able to get any abundance from this, because that's what's holding it back. They need to use these other glyphs for fear and sadness And of course, certainly she was not doing copying them and giving them to everybody. It was not a very nice thing to do, but it's not going to work for these people if they're not removing the fear, and that is the biggest block to abundance, is fear. If you're not removing all these other things, it won't really make any difference. Now, there is one thing in the programming of the abundance, that it will be a financial gift, and this will be anything from finding a nickel out on the road to, like, I have gotten as much as $500 from, well, actually, even I've gotten more than that, but I have gotten an unexpected $500 totally, completely, and I asked God, I said, you know, what is this? And I said, I was told this is a gift. And so I thought, well, okay, but what happens from the gift will depend upon your vibration, okay? So if you are vibrating from the place of fear, this won't do much for you. You have to vibrate. The idea is you have to see yourself as abundant and be grateful for whatever you have, whatever amount you have. You have to have gratitude. That is so important. But this cannot give you abundance if you're holding a lot of emotional baggage. So I just want to explain that ahead of time. If you if you have a copy of the book, use those other glyphs to remove, and there's at least 6 or 8 of them, to remove all the negative energies that we're holding. Now, a couple of people have gotten, one man contacted me. He said the day he got the book, he had a dream that told him to take a page of these glyphs and put them under his computer. Now, I suspect he used his computer for his income. Mm-hmm. I was told to take a page and put them in I put them in a document protector and put it under my pillow. So, which I've done, but I really don't have abundance problems. That's not my issue, so I don't concern myself about it. And one man or several people put them in their wallet. This is very common. People carrying copies, and they insist it works, and that's fine. Whatever they think, whatever works, works. That's fine.
So now, what is the recipe for a cold?
Now, for colds, and so now the one, number 10, the one for bacteria and viruses, should work when you feel yourself getting a cold. I've used it for different things, but I don't get colds. I don't get the flu. You need to get yourself in the morning. Try to contact your divinity and see yourself as immune. Some people, they say they get 2 colds every winter. And if you say that and you believe it and your body believes it, then you will. If you say you get 1 cold every winter, then you will. If you say and believe you will never get sick again, and that you are totally immune to any bacteria or any virus, then you will be. You have that power within you. You have the power of God. But not everybody's there yet, and this is really helpful. Let's say you do have let's say a head cold, and it's right up in your sinuses. You can put this over that area. I always put one on the solar plexus. I would put one on the solar plexus, and put one on the forehead if that's where it's in you. If you've got one that's in your chest, certainly the back of the heart. If it's in your lungs, you want to put one. The spot for your lungs is the back of the heart chakra. I wouldn't hurt to put on the back of your solar plexus. This is very powerful and can be very helpful. Or if you lay on your back, just take a whole page of them and lay in bed with them behind your back. So there's plenty of places you can use that for. Or if you have an external issue, let's say you've got an infection somewhere, you cut yourself and got an infection, this works very quickly. And I'm not giving advice here, but what happened to me is I got an eye infection from my contact lenses, and I taped it over my eye, and it was gone within a couple hours. Now, I'm not advising anybody of anything, because I don't want to have anybody upset at me because something, I don't want to take that responsibility, but this is what worked for me. The books all have dowsing charts. And if you are using a dowsing chart, if you know anything at all about dowsing, you hold your pendant right there with that little half circle at the bottom. And if you have to free your mind of any ideas or intentions. You want to ask simply, and I put there, which glyph do I need? But I honestly don't think that's a very good statement, because, and it's important you use a good statement, because I would have to say need for what. So what I say is, what glyph would be helpful for me now? That's what I say, is what glyph would be helpful for me now? And that works better for me. So you can make up your own dowsing statement, but you hold your pendant right there at that little tiny half circle, and it will swing in the direction of what glyph you will need. And then there's another page where you say, where should I use this glyph? And that's when I've recently got a lot of information on ones to use on the back side of myself.
Interesting. And here are the various symptoms and the recommended. It's sideways, but you get the picture, these glyphs. And these are very helpful. And what this does is it expands your interaction with the glyphs and experience with them, so that, it helps build the intuition of
it gives you a starting place. It gives you something to look at and figure out. People say, well, what should I use for this? And this will help a lot.
Yes, and you've always said that, Jean, that you're not the healer, that these are, and these won't hurt people. They can only help. What if someone has a pacemaker?
I don't know. One of the things people often ask me, like they say, well, my wife has a heart transplant. What should I use? When we incorporate something outside of the body and put something in, and I can't say there's an answer for that I know the answer, but I cannot believe it would be, all of this has the power of God, and it all has intelligence. So I'm not, I am quite certain nothing would ever happen. Nothing bad would ever happen. I don't know how it would.
Yes,
it's kind of like the Bach flower remedies. They say if you use the wrong one, nothing happens.
It has no effect. It's just, Okay.
Right.
Well, that should help people feel better about all of that.
Actually, what in the second book, the glyph for the heart, it could help a person avoid having to have a pacemaker. And that's the idea, is we want to heal it first.
Yes, and I can share a story, a testimonial from a dear cosmic mama who experienced, she felt her circulation was very poor. She had been out shopping and got tired very quickly, and the doctor called her in the following Monday for some testing on the vascular system. So all weekend long, she wore, I believe it was the heart and the lungs and the circulation, and she had a clean test.
Wow.
See?
My situation, it did, once I started, I was having a lot of heart problems, and I have mitral valve prolapse, but I was having chest pains that were so, a couple times, I was just short of calling 911, but I don't know why, because I would, whatever they do in the hospital would not be something I would want done anyway. But I created the glyph to heal myself. And so I wrote it for various things, and Then I put that on the back, put a block of 4 of them to make sure I've got the back of my heart chakra. I never again had a serious problem with chest pains, but I was advised to use it, continued using it. When you have a problem and the glyph resolves the problem, do continue to use it. Unless it's like an infection where you can see it's obvious, you know, if you get a cut on your hand and the infection's gone. But if you have an internal problem where you're healing something of a serious situation like that, and I had been told by several psychics, they said, well, you know, you have a heart problem. And so anyway, I used it for a couple of months, and then after, when I used it remotely as well, I put a page of them on my bookcase, and I put a little note there that to keep sending this energy to my heart.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, with that intention, even though it's not on the physical person, that's beautiful. And you've got a couple for spiritual awakening too. There's the checkerboard in it, but also the pituitary, the pineal gland, thalamus, and hypothalamus. That's fascinating. Now your latest glyphs, those are pretty fascinating. You've done some work with trees.
Right. In the new book, there'll be some of those along with other ones for diabetes, remove the diabetic markers. But for the trees, I live in the mountains of North Carolina where there's a serious insect infestation that's killing all of the eastern hemlock trees. And if you visit this state and you visit the Smoky Mountain National Park, you will see acres of devastated land, of dead trees laying everywhere, where these little aphids have just decimated everything. And so it has taken me a while to develop it the way I wanted it to be, and I have lost a tremendous number of trees myself. But now, as I walk through on the trails, all the young trees, there is no sign of the disease. And I've created a glyph for it, and then I've taken the page of glyphs, and I put the glyphs over a plat of the land and intend that that energy would go cover the complete area. And I've had one that I've also been called upon. I was asked to create a glyph to get rid of the GMO plants. And I thought, am I hallucinating here? And so I drew a glyph, and I was told to make it to wither the GMO crops, to purify the ground that they're on, and to raise the elevation of the consciousness of the people there. And so I had mixed feelings on this because I thought, well, when we follow a spiritual path, we always want to be doing the right thing. And we don't want to violate the law of allowing. We don't want to be destroying somebody's livelihood. Well, what I was told was that we are spiritual warriors, and we are here to save our planet and the people of the planet. And so I felt better about that. But nevertheless, as some people I talked to, they still had misgivings. And so then what I was told was, Jesus withered the fig tree. So after I was told that, I understood a little better. So there is a glyph in the new book that I'm working on, to wither GMO crops. And there were some of us got together on a call, and we put these glyphs over the country of South America, which that was last fall when that was their growing season. And someone said, well, how do you know if it worked? You don't concern yourself with that. You just move forward. You just do. You don't look at this part of expectations, expecting results. You just do, and you continue to move forward. And that's as we go into the spring planting season here in the United States, the same way. If we put a glyph on top of the country of the United States, or Canada's another one with big GMO crops, we just do our thing, and remember we have the power of God, and how well it works will depend upon how much we believe in our power of intention.
It also would work for fracking.
Yes, yes, that's a good idea, is to have one for fracking. But there I think we have to raise the consciousness. And one of the things that we have to do is set ourselves free of the control of the people who are trying to keep us locked in to fossil fuels. What is in the earth belongs to the earth. It does not belong to us, and in my opinion, nobody really has the right to take it. And that's a good one right there. That's a really great glyph. And I have taken, like, I'll take pages of the people in the Senate or the House of Representatives, and put that down, and I just have the statement, if their soul is willing. You always want permission from the individual before you do anything, but you just say, if the soul is willing. Now, this cannot override anybody's free will. If they want to engage in criminal mentality or activity, then this is not going to stop them. But it may give them, there's a page and a half of programming that goes with this glyph. And it's even like administer homeopathics to them, do crystal healing, and do all types of healing, and appoint a series of elevated beings to work with this individual to try to bring their consciousness into alignment with love.
Exactly. So as not to oppose or fight anything, it's actually working on the opposing element and enforcing that and increasing that with these glyphs. It's wonderful. And so this is the work that we can do with our consciousness and our intention.
Right.
Okay. So both of your books are available in PDF downloads. We've got a couple of options for you because some people already have both of your books. Some have one or the other. So we've got some options that we still feel is a really great opportunity for you to get close to this work. So the two books are available in PDF, and those also come with the programs that go over each of these. These are each 2-hour online healing retreats that are included in MP3 downloads as well as a video download so you can see the images.
The third part, when we talked about the books, the third one would be what is going to be in the third book, and I have 14 glyphs already, and there may even be more than this by that time, but there'll be 14 glyphs, and they're literally just a rough draft with programming statements attached to them, but the glyph will be there, and the patch pages will be there. And then the last one that we would have available would be when I was asked to create a glyph to help the AIDS people in Africa, and I was given what glyph to use. And this glyph is for serious viral illnesses like AIDS, hepatitis, Lyme's disease, things that are insidious and difficult to heal, mononucleosis, and they would use that glyph, have it put on a t-shirt. I would not recommend the iron-on type, but have it go to a place that puts them on t-shirts, and have more than one done, and have them wear it regularly for a week or two. And that glyph will be included in the package. So we went over every one of them and described them and talked about how to use them.
Yes, those are very powerful programs, and it explains a lot of really great information. Again, it's 4 hours of information that tells you how to use every single glyph.
I scan the glyph and I send it to my ex-husband, and he creates a page, the pages, that go in what's called the Holy Ground Farm Glyph Gallery, where it has the programming statement and then the patch page. From that, I extract the words that go into the book. That what you read in the book is not near what a programming statement is, which is rather interesting because some of them it shows just how much goes into a glyph, what all is into a glyph, which can be quite extensive. Like I said, that one book, that one glyph, there are glyphs that have more than a page of programming statements in them.
This would be for the practitioners out there and the healers out there. So this is the practitioner option.
I do share them. Yeah, I do occasionally. Like there are people who workshop my glyphs, healers out there who have workshops with them, and when they do that, and if anybody's interested in that, I would love for them to contact me. And there's even a man down in Chile who's doing that. But that when they do that, I then will share with them all the programming statements.
So in closing today, this is just a wonderful couple of options. The Healers Package is something that is brand new and will really help you out there. And Jean, any final comments for anyone listening today?
Oh, just that I want to honor everybody out there. I want to send you all my love and blessings. And I would like you to all be who you are here to be. And I'm just very honored to have you joining me here. Thank you. And thank you, Loren, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Jean Logan. Beautiful. Nice work. Up next is a water clearing and blessing ceremony with Dave Cowan of the Mind Field Repatterning online healing retreat. He'll show us how to douse a bottle of water, clear it from ill effects, and program it with universal love. So have your water ready today, along with your intentions for healing the planet and also any area of your life that needs healing. Then we'll charge the water and drink it. On every breath, you'll be literally breathing this universal love and your intentions into the environment around you. Remember to share this loving water with plants and Mother Earth.
So grab a bottle of water for yourself. And the reason we're going to work with water is because it is such a tangible means for anyone, really, to perceive on a sensory level the power of the mind to shift matter. Water, it turns out, is an ideal medium for programming with our intention. And perhaps this is one of the reasons why it's so tangible in many cases when we douse for a person and they feel actual body changes, is because our bodies are primarily water. So there's something about water. Even our astronomers are now limiting their search for planets with other life to those that are in that very narrow range that supports water in a liquid state. So there's something about water in a liquid state that is very special. But before we even go there, I'd like to just join with you all now in setting an intention for this day. And as we like to do in our sessions, we turn this time over to Spirit. We turn this time over to the divine, however it is that you conceive of that. And simply in that agreement, we've raised the tone, we've raised the outcome and the probability for something wonderful. We've made room for miracles. Does that sound like a good idea? Yes. Then it's done. So getting back to the water. Water is, again, particularly programmable with intention, with desire, and with the spoken word. Some of you might be familiar with, what's his name? Jonathan Goldman. An expert in sound therapy. And he's written a couple of wonderful books about this. And one of the things I learned from his work was that he identified the hydrogen molecule. So water is H2O, right? 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen. The hydrogen molecule is the most sound sensitive of the entire elemental world. In other words, it is the most sonically perceptive of all of the elements. And it has this amazing ability to take sound and generate light. He calls this sonoluminescence, or sound into light. So when you consider that water is 2 molecules of hydrogen, and we speak our intention into the water, light is produced. And light, of course, is another name for information, is it not? And our entire physical body, as we now understand it, is literally designed as a light-carrying transmission and reception organism. We have light receptors through our meridians, and this has been well established for thousands of years. More recently, scientists have discovered an entirely new structure. Well, it's not new, it's new to our understanding, throughout the body, known as the extracellular matrix. And this is a network of collagen proteins, tiny little tubes, that up until recently, it was assumed these were just part of our structural support system. It's now recognized that within these tiny protein tubes, like tiny scaffolds throughout the body, there are molecules of water in an ideal clustered state, or molecules of water in a pristine state that are highly capable of receiving energy and information and transmitting that through these structures throughout the body. So this is how every cell in your body knows what's going on with every other cell in the body instantaneously. It's been called the biological internet. So Dr. James Oshman is the fellow who brought this into public awareness in his book recently called Energy Medicine, the Scientific Evidence, or the Scientific Basis, I believe it is, James Oshman. So it seems that we are designed to receive and process light as a source of information, and the water molecules in our light structures are ideally set up or structured to transmit that light. But let's do an experiment. Let's have an experience in that sense. And again, the process that I'm describing here is in your notes on page 13 under number 57, Special Applications, Energizing Water. So don't think you have to write all this out for yourself. This process that we're going to play with the water here was actually demonstrated by Raymond Grace on Coast to Coast AM a few years ago, overnight talk show. And he actually got all the listening audience to put a glass of water in front of their radios as he did this demonstration. And people drank the water afterwards, and then the calls started coming in. Oh, my headache's gone. Oh, my lower back pain is gone. And so a wonderful demonstration of that non-locality we talked about yesterday, how the mind literally fills the universe, and we are all in constant communication on that level. Even through the radio waves, it was possible to carry that intention around the world. So with your water in front of you, whatever water it is you're working with right now, the first phase of this experiment is simply to taste the water. Simply to notice the water. You don't have to analyze it, just experience it. And by the way, if anybody's watching this on a DVD, you can do this as well at home. Because again, the information is transferred through the digital aspect of this technology. I'm sorry?
And the audio.
And the audio, of course. Thank you. We have an audio expert in the audience. Oh, audience. Okay, I get the word. All right, audio. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, by tasting the water, of course, we're just getting, this is the pre-test. This is the foundation test. Now what we're going to do is with our pendulums and our focused intention is we're going to clear the water of all of the memory in the water. It's like this is a cassette tape. It's full of information. I mean, these molecules have been around for 4.5 billion years or so. So they've picked up some information. So let's clear the water now. And again, you don't have to hold it. You can just focus your attention if you like. But with a left spin now. And if you just want to attend along with me, we now release this water of all non-beneficial memory. Clearing the memory of trauma, clearing the memory of toxins, clearing the memory of conflict. And specifically, we release this water of the spirit of greed. Water was never meant to be sold. It is the birthright of all life to have a constant, steady supply of fresh, clean water. So let's clear the spirit of greed from this water. And if it's in plastic, we'll clear any plastic toxins as well. And we want to bring this water back to its pristine state, as it was created, as it was intended. So again, with that intention, we hold the intention and allow the spin to simply indicate the work is being done on our behalf. Okay. Now you can verify this for yourself. Once your spin stops, you can simply ask, is this water absolutely, completely clear? Yes. Is there any non-beneficial energy or information in this water at this time? No. Okay? Once you've validated that, taste it. Have another taste. And compare it to that original taste. It's weird. It's kind of intangible, but there's something different about it, isn't there? Well, how would you describe that?
It felt heavier before, and now it feels lighter.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah.
I thought smoother.
Smoother? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's hard to describe.
More watery. It's kind of more spacious, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So you now have a blank cassette. Let's put some new information. Let's create an intention. Let's do something with this water now that is in alignment with our desire and the highest good. So with a right spin now, okay, the left spin was the removal. The right spin is bringing in the intention. You don't need to touch it, no. We bring into this water now the most appropriate energies and frequencies to support the healing and wholeness of my body, my mind, and my energy field, creating out of this water a universal healing elixir that will automatically bring to wholeness any inconsistencies, any disharmonies, any non-beneficial energies or frequencies in my body. And we invite back into this water now the spirit of the water, the life force, or the diva of the water. And we energize this water now to automatically transmit these healing benefits and frequencies to every subsequent molecule of water that it comes in touch with from this time forward, magnifying these benefits without reversal. Now, you might have a special intention that you want to put in too. You can add your own ingredients to this formula. Perhaps there's a specific issue going on in your life or a health issue. Just mention it. Say, and I decree that this water will reverse, and simply fill in the blank. Maybe you're having a problem with sleep. This water will assist me in gaining deep, restful sleep when appropriate. Not in this class. Okay? Now when that completes for you, again you can validate your dowsing. Is the programming complete? Yes. Is the effectiveness of this water 100%? Yes. Okay? And go ahead and have a taste. Now because we've programmed this, to automatically communicate these healing benefits and amplify them, with every breath you take, you're expelling water molecules. Okay? So as you walk down the street now, you will be blessing the world. Okay? Everyone behind you will be going, oh, something's changed. I feel better. Just like when the people started phoning in on Raymond's radio show. One of the persons I remember that called in, or that had reported what he did with this, is he did an experiment. He took a dropper bottle of his energized water and went to a public swimming pool and put one drop in the pool when no one was looking, obviously, and just sat back and watched the results. People got happier, people started communicating more, and there was just this whole general glow of wellness and wholeness. So you can have fun with this water. Put it in your drinking water. Like in the old days, we used to slip the vodka into the punch, right? Well, we can bring that up a notch now.
So you're using it sort of like a homeopathic remedy in that regard, because you're just using a few drops to signal to the rest of the water body.
Totally. As a matter of fact, you could very well call this a virtual homeopathic, because there's nothing of the original substance. There's simply an energy signature or imprint. Okay?
To learn more about dowsing and affecting change in your world and all timelines, past lives, future lives, present lives, and even parallel lives, then check out the online healing retreat, Mind Field Repatterning with Dave and Irina Cowan. This is a 4-hour video course that you watch online, and you learn how to dowse. You learn how to become confident in dowsing and the specific questions to ask. Click on the View All Special Offers link at the bottom of this webpage for more information on this online healing retreat with Dave and Irina